And welcome back to the Houston Texans franchise rebuild. Here today, we have the season finale versus the Indianapolis Colts. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. Please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of today's action, and don't forget to subscribe. As we are ending this regular season right now with 2 losses in a row, putting us up at 8-8 right now in this season finale. We're right now 3rd place in this division due to the fact that we lost a very close matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars 34-31. And now with no playoff hopes in mind, it's really moving on to the off season, the draft, and everything like that. So before we get into today's action, let's go through some upgrades, and then let's talk about some players that we have to bring back in terms of negotiation, and then I'll talk about a little bit of the roster and what I think we can go forward from there. So let's start with some upgrading. So the first player we have to upgrade is the player we traded for in the midseason mark, Chase Linovich, who we have got him all the way up to superstar development. Here are his ratings right now. He's playing excellent football. He's been a bright spot for our pass rush. The thing is this, he's 27 years old, and from a long-term perspective, you know, he's not going to really get too much better, but he will be a quality starter. For his ratings right now, I am actually going to go with run stopper here, just to get him be an all-around solid pass rusher here. We do get some power moves, +2 block shed and some tackling, so that's really good. Helping out a lot of those other ratings, and as an all-around pass rusher, even from a run stopping perspective, he's very good. From an end, he's a quality starter. Let's move to the other side of the end, and that's Jonathan Greenyard here, who last week we were able to get him from normal to star development, and from a physical pass rushing standpoint, he should be able to produce. He has 84 finesse moves. He's been looking okay out there. I believe he's second on the team, or tied with this team with 5 sacks. And I actually want to work again on his run stopping ability. I know that these aren't helping out their pass rushing moves, but these 2 ends need to become all around quality pass rushers and run stoppers for our defensive line. So Greenyard gets a run stopping. Then we have Derek Stingley here, the former 3rd overall pick in this past draft class, who has 8 interceptions. I think he leads the league with turnovers here. And you know, he's right now more of a man cover corner, so already I kind of want to work on his zone coverage, but with that 78 catching, it really helps him out. Surprised he hasn't been injured more, but we will work on zone coverage. It is our scheme. It bumps him up a tiny bit. We get +2 zone coverage, +1 press, and some change of direction, some other things. It does move him up to an 80 overall, and that kind of evens out both his zone and his man coverage as well. Then we have Dameon Pierce here, who is definitely in play for Offensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC due to Madden splitting the 2 up. And for Pierce right now, he's playing great football. He again scored 3 touchdowns. He has a nose for the end zone. We're gonna go again with elusive back here, moving him up. We're gonna hopefully get some good ratings here. Break tackle, carrying, juke, change of direction. That's a really good upgrade for him. His ratings are in a very good spot. Happy about that. And then finally, Nico Collins. What more can you sit here and say besides the first ever receiver to eclipse 2,000 receiving yards in a campaign? You know, when I immediately look at his ratings, I want to work on his route running, and I don't really know what upgrade to do to help out his upgrading or his release, but from an overall receiver perspective, he is truly we into our #1 guy. I think again we're gonna go playmaker here. We did it last time. We get a bunch of upgrades this time around. We get some catch in traffic, some spec catch, some juke, some of the secondary stuff. That really does help him out. Very happy with him. As we move towards our players that we need to consider re-signing, there are 2 that automatically kind of become on our board that I look at out of this 23 players that I say to myself, I would like to keep at least for another couple seasons. And those players are We'll start with MJ Stewart here. Stewart here has been starting at strong safety for us this entire season. He has a lot of interest in coming back. And for 2 years, $5 million. And we have the cap space to do it. We have plenty of cash. I'm willing to make this offer here for MJ. I think from a starting perspective, he can start for us for a backup. He'll be good here. And he does take the 2-year offer, so we will keep MJ Stewart on this roster. And then the other player is Blake Cashman. You know, Cashman, from a linebacking perspective, he's fast, he's physical, he can make tackles, and he's also good in zone coverage. Now, he has no interest in coming back here because we're not a historically championship type of caliber team, but let's try to make him contract here. It's a 2-year, right now it's 2 years, $8 million. Let's make it 2 years, $10 million. Let's see if he will come back. I think I could find a better team in free agency that will match this current offer. So I don't know if that means he completely rejected us. He did not. So, and don't forget this, Blake Cashman, we did get him up to star dev. So he did reject this, but we should have one more opportunity to re-sign Blake Cashman. I would not franchise tag Cashman. I just think he's a quality starter, and he would be a player that I would want to bring back. For everyone else here, it's kind of just more or less, do we want to keep some of these veterans? I'm probably leaning towards no, but we shall see. Now, the last bit of little home maintenance is what are we doing with the starters for this Week 18 matchup? As you guys can see, we're changing up the offensive line. We're putting 2 of our younger tackles in over AJ Cann and Tunsil, 2 players that, especially for Tunsil, who has struggled this campaign. I just want to see these 2 guys, Heck and Austin here. These are 2 young players that could become backups, could just be players that we put on our practice squad, but I want to see them start, get them some XP. We shall see. And then for the defensive line, we have a couple rookies at linebacker, Bobby Johnson and Chase Henson here, who will both get some significant playing time. And both Lopez and Brooker here will play a lot more in this ball game as well. Not too many changes overall in terms of the youth of this team, but I'm trying to see some players, especially for Lopez. I want to see if he can become either our 3rd defensive tackle or potentially our number 2, because he has had a very good year. He's quietly, as a rotational defensive lineman, he's quietly put up 4 sacks. He's made more plays as a run stopper as well, and as a former 6th-round pick, he has impressed me in his 2nd season. Now let's go check out this Colts team and then get into the ball game. As we are taking a quick look at this Colts team, they are led by Jonathan Taylor. Taylor in our first matchup did not play. He was injured. So he's healthy this week, and it's going to be a tough to stop number 28. They have Quentin Nelson, a very good offensive lineman. DeForest Buckner, Shaq Leonard here. You know, they have Stephon Gilmore. This team is very good, and they are the best team right now in the AFC South. They are looking like they're going to be going to the postseason, led by Matt Ryan. The first week 1 when we played against this team, from what I remember, it was a close, tough matchup. We lost by multiple scores due to the fact that we're still a very young team. But we've changed throughout these 17 games now, or 16 games since the last time we played against this team. And I do think we can go out there and get this victory over them. And let's just go out and finish this season with a victory. That's all I'm hoping for. And welcome to Lucas Oil Stadium here in Indianapolis. It's the Colts versus the Houston Texans here in Week 18, the season finale for both teams. The Colts have won the AFC South and looking to go to the wild card round in this year's playoff run. For the Colts, for the Texans, we're right now just playing for pride here. We're playing to beat a divisional team and not go 1-5 this season versus divisional opponents. If we lose this game, we go 1-5, that's a problem. But hopefully versus this good Colts team, beating Matt Ryan could give us a little bit of momentum and something to think about during this offseason. So let's get into today's action and let's go beat this Colts team. Leading out his Houston Texans offense is number 10, Davis Mills, 36 touchdowns to 33 INTs, over 4,000 passing yards. Davis Mills has been the complete definition of a gunslinger. As the Texans will start here at their own 31-yard line here, and Davis Mills will be the major topic during this offseason, as we'll start with a 9-yard carry. But Mills and the quarterback position, what do we do with him? Do we look to draft a rookie, or do we look to bring in a veteran to replace him? Do we look to a veteran just to back him up? First of all, I want to know down below what you guys think what you should do with Davis Mills. I mean, I'm right now leaning more towards keeping him and potentially drafting a quarterback and do a little bit of quarterback competition. But we shall see. I'm going to take some time after this ball game in a few days to kind of figure that out. But, you know, Mills is going to be the major topic in this up and coming off season. For the rest of this offense, of course, it's fixing up this offensive line and getting some more skilled position players. You know, right here, right now, we have a lot of question marks as this pass is going to be undercut by Gilmore and is going to be returned here all the way back at the 44-yard line. Stephon Gilmore, I forgot I have a game to commentate, is able to return it all the way to the 44-yard line. The veteran cornerback who's bounced around this league. And these are plays right there that Davis Mills needs to be able to make. Just get the third down catch to your best receiver. And now here comes Matt Ryan. Over 3,000 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. First season as a Colts, has looked great after moving off from Atlanta. Let's talk quickly about this defense before we get back into the offense. And this is basically the game plan for our defenses. I think we're going to spend big in free agency here as this pass was tipped away. Good job by Jalen Peachy. But I think we're going to go out there and spend big money across our front seven because we really need to fix that up. As this play here will go underneath here. Parrish Campbell with the catch, but this is going to add an extra 15 yards due to Chase Slunovich's pass hitting Matt Ryan after the play. But again, I think fixing up this defensive line and front seven is probably going to be my main focus. I think we have quality players in our secondary. A lot of free agency should be that. I'm going to talk more about that in free agency, especially towards the defensive side of the ball. But let me know down below what you guys think we should do on the defense, as we have a lot to think about even on the offensive side of the ball. Entering into now the red zone here are the Colts. Jonathan Taylor at the back, as he's going to get close to the first down marker here. It's 3rd down and 1. It's very close here. I thought he got the first down, as Matt Ryan will look underneath here, and here's Hines with the reception and the first down. Already seen Bobby Johnson make some plays, number 44 at linebacker, and here's Hines getting a little end around play, and he's going to gain 5. 3rd down and 5 now here. The Colts can pick up a first down, as Ryan will look to throw here. Plenty of time in the pocket here as he has to throw it away. It's 4th down. The Colts will just settle for 3. As the Houston offense will take over here off the turnover at their own 25, down by 3. Mills will look to throw to start this drive here. Here's Dameon Pierce. Last week had a career high in catches with 7. So again, the question kind of pops up here is what we do with number 10, the quarterback position. I think that's going to be one of the first things I need to figure out for this team during this up and coming off season, as there's a penalty flag thrown. It's probably going to be a holding call, and it is. So what do we do at quarterback? And it's either draft a rookie, in my opinion, or you stick with Davis Mills. One or the other. I don't know just yet which one we're gonna lean towards, but either or, we need to go. I think we gotta stick with one of these young quarterbacks as we develop this roster. But it's 3rd down and 5 here. This Houston team needs a first down. Mills takes it, looks to throw here, and he throws it right at the defender. And this is not a good outing right now for Davis Mills, as this is going to go for a pick 6. The Colts will go up here by 10. And Davis Mills continues just to show the inconsistency and the question marks that I think every single one of us have for him. But we're already halfway through the first quarter, and we're down by 10 here. What can the Houston Texans do? Mills will look to throw here. He already has 2 interceptions. He gets the ball to Tyler Johnson for 7. Don't forget, we have 2 backups in on this offensive line too. So we're not starting all of our best starters, as Pierce will gain the first down. As it's 3rd down and 5 here. Houston needs a first down. Mills looking to throw here, feeling the rush here. That pass is again going to be intercepted here. And I think enough is enough. If you are Houston right now, you got to get this kid out. You know, he's just thrown a 3rd interception just in the first quarter alone. My goodness, this is just not what you want to see. Well, we know this Colts team wants to run the football, establish this well, as they're going to go with 3 tight ends on the field. Taylor again, but Lopez is right there with a good run stopping. 3rd down and 1 here, as again Taylor's the back, and Bobby Johnson, the second-year linebacker, continues to impress me. 2nd down and 10 now. Ryan dropping back, looks to throw quickly, getting this ball to Michael Pittman, and Pittman reels it in for a gain of 9. 3rd down and 1 here, as this is the last play of the first quarter. Ryan's looking to throw. Plenty of time in this pocket here, and time is starting to run out. Greenyard with the sack, forced fumble. Someone needs to pick it up on our side of the field, but the Colts are now have to kick a field goal here at the beginning of the second quarter. Here at the beginning of the second quarter here, we're looking to forget the first quarter. Davis Mills has thrown 3 interceptions. He's still out there right now, as we hand the ball off to Pierce for a couple yards. And we've yet to even discuss Nico Collins and his 2,000-yard campaign. He's really taken this next step, in my opinion. As here on 2nd down, Mills looking to throw here, trying to get this ball to Brandon Cooks here, and Cooks reels it in for a first down and more. 2nd down and 10 here, right around midfield. Mills looking to throw here, getting this ball right back to Brandon Cooks here, as Cooks is starting to get hot right now. As it's 3rd down and 3 here, Mills staying in the shotgun, looking to throw here, feeling the rush of the interior. Grover Stewart providing it, shivvies away here, and this pass is up in the air, and it's incomplete. We'll settle for 3. As the Colts will take over here, up by 10 here, starting with a run here for Jonathan Taylor, losing a couple here. There's Blake Cashman. Here's one of the reasons you want to keep a guy like Cashman. He has sideline to sideline speed, good coverage ability, but he's also an excellent run stopper. 3rd down and 11 here. Ryan's looking to throw, looking over the middle. This pass was caught. Michael Pittman Jr., their number 1 receiver, reels it in here over Desmond King. Fresh set of downs here for the Colts. Really working up the field here are the Colts. Takes it, Taylor the back. Gets the call, Cashman again out there making the open field tackle. Fresh set of downs here, close to midfield are the Colts, continuing to run this football, and again, Taylor is just starting to heat up a little bit. 3rd down and 3 here. Matt Ryan standing at midfield, looking to throw as the Texans send an all-out blitz, and Michael Pittman can't hold on. It's 4th down, they have to punt. As the Texans will take over here at the 15-yard line. They'll start with a run here, but Grover Stewart blowing up that play. Mills faces a 3rd down and 9 here. What can he do? Play action fake now, as he's going to look to throw. Zips it outside here for Collins, and that pass was just badly thrown. It's 4th down. Now we have to punt. Teams exchanging punts here. It's a field position battle right now, as the Colts will take over past midfield, and they're looking to go up again. Zips it over the middle. Michael Pittman hangs on after the big hit by Cashman. This defense needs to make some plays here in week 18. Ryan looks to throw, zips it outside here. Pittman again reels it in, first down. 2nd down and 10 here. Ryan's looking to throw quickly. Pittman again, another first down. Goal to go now here, as we're getting close to the 2-minute warning. Matt Ryan looking to throw it, but he's going to go down. Great job by Willow with the sack. Back-to-back weeks for the linebacker. We're hitting the 2-minute warning. 2nd down and goal here at the beginning of the 2-minute warning. Ryan's in the shotgun, 3 receivers set, sending up a screen, but he's going to go down. Thomas Booker with the sack. I believe he's a rookie this season, and he just made a great play. It's now 3rd down and goal here at the 18-yard line. Colts going backwards. Matt Ryan again goes down. Chase Lenovich, his turn. I believe this is his 14th sack this campaign. We call a timeout here. The Colts will settle for 3. 32 to go here in the first half. The Texans will take over here. Here's Mills looking to throw here, feeling the rush, trying to get this ball to Jordan, and Jordan can't reel it in. It's 3rd down and 10 now. Mills takes the snap. He's staying in this passing game, feeling the rush here, and he got hit, and is going to be throwing his 4th INT of the first half here. And you got to think they got to go to the other quarterback. That is Kenny Moore, his first interception of today's action. Second down and 3 here, 55 seconds to go. Both teams have 2 timeouts. Ryan zips it outside here. Here's Hines with the catch and the good run here. He's broke multiple tackles, setting up goal to go now. First down and goal here at the 5. Ryan takes the snap, looking end zone, touchdown. Parrish Campbell, they're gonna go up by 3 scores here. And you gotta be thinking to yourself, if you're the Houston Texans, what do you do? As we are heading into halftime here, the Indianapolis Colts are up 23-3 here. And what do you do if you're the Houston Texans here in week 18 for any sort of adjustments? Well, I don't think you do much. I mean, you know, right now we have 4 turnovers. I think you go out there and just kind of get the ball to some of these playmakers that you want to see. We kind of slow down the game here. I mean, we're kind of conceding this as a loss anyway, so maybe here in the second half, it's mostly just highlights instead of my normal commentary. Who knows? We'll try to make a game out of it, but we shall see. Second down and 8 now. Ryan will take the snap. Here's Taylor. Taylor breaking multiple tackles for getting close to the first down marker. Second down and 10 now. Ryan takes the snap, looking to throw. Settling underneath here for Campbell, and Campbell gets the first down. Second down and 9 now. Here's Ryan looking to throw, looking for anyone. Jonathan Greenyard gets back there for a sack, his second of today's campaign. He just hit start of element, and he's having his first double-digit sack day. As it's third down and 23 now. Here's Ryan looking to throw, zips it across the field. Here is Parrish Campbell, and Campbell gets the first down. How can you let that happen? Goal to go now here. Can the Colts go up by multiple scores? And they're going to continue this. Touchdown Colts. This is Jonathan Taylor. And this Colts team is putting on a clinic, showing why they're the best team in the AFC South. Second down and 2 here. Mills with a bunch formation, looks to throw, looking for anyone, now rolling, trying to get someone open, and he gets Nico Collins. Touchdown Houston. And almost a meaningless score here at the late stages of the third quarter. Ryan in the shotgun, takes the snap, looks to throw here. Plenty of time going to the outside. Derek Stingley interception, his 9th of the season, and he does it in a big moment here in week 18. The pistol formation here as Allen takes it. Here's Wayne Gallman, and Gallman will find the end zone. Touchdown Houston, cutting into this lead here in the late stages of the fourth quarter. Mills in the shotgun and an empty look, takes the snap, looks to throw here, looking down the field here for Collins, and he reels it in here. The outstanding receiver continues to impress. Now we're seeing a bit of a passing game here. Mills takes a snap, looks end zone here, and that is Brandon Cooks. Touchdown Houston. Meaningless score here in week 18, but might as well do so, as the Houston Texans will try an onside kick here, just to try to get one more possession in for their offense, and they won't get it. So here in week 18, the Indianapolis Colts will be beating the Houston Texans. What a year for this Houston team, really overachieving. Let's be 100% honest here. Going 8-9 this season with this roster, this team. I mean, you gotta sit back and not really expect any of this. You know, we went out there, we were able to put up a 1,000-yard back, a 2,000-yard receiver, and another potential 1,000-yard receiver in Brandon Cooks. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we were able to hit strides with multiple different players like Linovich, like Derek Stingley. Greenyard really picked it up in the last few games. Very impressed with our team, with the development of our roster. There is definitely a very, very bright future. I know this season ended in disappointment. 3 straight losses, all versus divisional teams. And, you know, each game was a little bit different, but overall, you gotta just be a little bit of excitement. As we're gonna look at some stats here, Davis Mills ended the season with 4 interceptions, really kind of answering the question, or maybe, you know, more questions need to be happening for Davis Mills. He impressed this season, and we'll talk about this more later on. Damian Pierce, 78 yards, and he looked good. Nico Collins put up some big numbers. Brandon Cooks caught a touchdown. He didn't hit 1,000 yards, but he had over 900. Couple sacks allowed. And defensively, Greenyard had two sacks. We got a bunch of actually sacks for our defense, and Stingley ends the season with an interception. As we are ending the 2022 regular season 8-9. Again, like I was talking a little bit, we ended the year, or went into this season probably not expecting this, and we went out there and we really did overachieve. Quickly, let's go through some stats and just kind of talk about kind of player by player. Let's talk about Davis Mills real quick. Almost, 4,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, 37 interceptions. Now, this is probably the biggest question mark entering into this up and coming off season, is what do you do with him? Do you stick with Davis Mills? Here are his ratings right now. I mean, when I sit back and look at his ratings, the only thing that I look at and say to myself that we need to work on is something that we physically can't, and that's his throw power. If we can get his throw power into the 90s, if it's 90, it's massively different than 98. But between medium and short accuracy and even deep accuracy, they're all in solid spots. It's just that, do you give up on him, try to draft a rookie, try to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, and go more in that direction? I don't know what we do with quarterback. Let me know down below. But Davis Mills, there has to be a conversation of keeping him just as much as there needs to be a conversation of moving off of him or getting some competition for him, because 37 interceptions, he's one of the biggest reasons, or he's at least half the reason we cannot win in this league. When you turn to this running game, well, the bell cow Dameon Pierce, pretty much 340 carries, 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns with 3 fumbles, 21 broken tackles. He played a lot. He did a lot for this offense, and he is definitely a player to build around. But can he continue to play at the level that he did entering into year 2? And not even just that, should we add someone to take half this load or a portion of this load off of him? I almost think that we should. We really didn't run the ball with anyone else besides him. So I do think adding a speedster running back is something that we should do. When we turn to the wide receiver position, Nico Collins, what more can you sit here and say? 94 catches, 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 17 ball games. You know what? He's probably never going to have another season like this, but Nico has impressed me enough that moving forward, he should be our next #1 wide receiver. Brandon Cooks went out this season, 58 catches, 1,000 yards, and 11 touchdowns. He also impressed me. He also showed glimpses of, hey, he might not be a deep threat, he might be more of a possession receiver, and that's okay. For Brandon, in my opinion, at 28, 29 years old, with 2 years left on his contract after this season, he is still a very good wide receiver. When we look at the rest, Brevin Jordan, second-year tight end, now going to be a third year. Hey, he still has room to grow, even though he's normal dev. If we can get him that development trait, that would be great. But I think with that speed and hands, why not just stick with him? I think the #3 receiver needs to be upgraded, and I think we need another option or two to help out our next quarterback or for Davis Mills. For the offensive line, I think you kind of sit back and say to yourself, we almost need to either scrap it, or we kind of just need to add some youth. Tunsil just was a disappointment this year. Complete disappointment. 14 sacks allowed. Andre Diller actually played very good football, even with 5 sacks allowed. Same with Green, AJ Cannon, Justin Britt. We need help on this offensive line. When you throw it to the defense, there's just too many players to go over, but let's talk about some of the big ones. And the first big one is Jalen Peachy here. 3 tackles for loss, a sack, and an interception. Hey, for Jalen right now, we just kind of need him to get more time and to develop here. He's raw, he has a lot of talent, and I think he's a good player moving forward within our secondary. The other player in our secondary is, of course, where is he? Derek Stingley. 9 interceptions this campaign, 18 deflections, a true #1 corner. Very excited to see what he can provide for our team in the upcoming seasons. He's definitely a building block for our defense. The other player we have to talk about is Chase Winovich. 14 and a half sacks, 9 tackles for loss. He really impressed me throughout this season, as well as he hit superstar development, which has to say something for our defense. You know, he's definitely a player. Even though I think we need help on the defensive line, he's someone that we can continue to start, and he can start a lot of football games. And then finally, the last player that we'll talk about is Steven Nelson. 6 interceptions, quietly with 6 interceptions. He played excellent. Now, he was injured for a couple games here and there, but playing in the slot for our defense, he's one of our better cover corners, and he showed it this year. And I'm very impressed with Nelson, very excited to see what he can do. We'll talk more about this roster during the offseason video, more the direction that I want to take. I'm going to take the next few days to go through it, but here are the leaders in terms of our important stats. You know, Greenyard with 7 sacks, you know, Desmond King with 3 interceptions. You know, overall, very happy with this season. You know, we overachieved, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. But we're gonna sim to the next week, look at the playoff picture, and then the next episode, we will go through free agency. And if you guys don't know my free agency videos, there is a lot that we go over. Right now, as we sim to the next week, it looks like we have $30 million. So we have to move off of some of these players for some cap if we want to improve this roster. And that's something else we'll talk about in the upcoming video. But guys, please leave a like, comment down below what you thought of this season and what you want to see to happen here in the offseason. Do we want to have a change at quarterback, or do we want to go out there and stick with Davis Mills? Let me know down below. But guys, I will see you in the next one.